Hey, I'm Nick Hawks with DePIN State. Super excited to have Uroš from Onocoy on the show with us today. Uroš, thanks for coming on, man.
Hey there, man.
Super excited to have you. So, for folks who haven't heard of Onocoy, it's a GNSS project, but would you walk people through kind of what that means? And yeah, we'll start with there.
Yeah, so at Onocoy, what we do is basically Web3 and GNSS. So if you don't know what GNSS is, you probably know what GPS is. GPS is a GNSS technology. And what we're trying to do is enable high precision GNSS all over the world. What that entails is putting up the so-called reference stations called RTK reference stations to cover the entire planet. And it's basically a DePIN project in that sense. Each station is a so-called miner, and we pay you in crypto to run your RTK station. You give us the data, we sell that data, and we make this stable economy, this stable crypto economy that way.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So I guess the first question is the GNSS world is full of kind of engineers and geeks, and it's not really something that quote normal people interact with. So how do people get a station, or is the expectation that people who are already in GNSS are going to let you use their station?
So for us, it's you could send us any data. Like we're totally agnostic. We don't know the origin of your data initially when you send it to us. It's up to us to figure out that it's real GNSS data. The way we do that is by using basically anti-spoofing technology. It takes us a little while to do that. The reason we can do that, like let's take the OG example of helium. Helium uses a proprietary standard, let's say, and we don't, and we can get away with it because there's already a bunch of satellites up in the sky and many constellations with the GPS satellites. They move around and they verify that you are where you say you are, that you're sending the correct data. So in that way, it's on us to verify this data. And then because our customers trust us, they'll buy that data from us, and then we can pay you as well.
Got it. Now, how far along is the project? You guys have a couple stations, couple hundred stations, couple thousand. Kind of where is it right now?
So we're running about a little over 1,000 stations currently. We have over 2,000 registered, but 1,000 are online and sending data now.
Okay, got
And
it.
we need to give you perspective, we need
Yep.
100,000 to cover the area that we're looking to cover, which is basically everything but Antarctica.
Yeah, it's the world, right?
Right.
For folks watching this, please like and subscribe. Do the usual thing on YouTube. Helps us make sure that you get all these interviews right when they come out. Uroš, next question is the Hive Mapper question. For folks following this, use code DeepInState State for 5% off a Hive Mapper. Links down in the description. But the big question with a lot of these things is how do you stop gaming? Is that you said, hey, it's on us to kind of figure it out to stop it? Is how are you going about that?
Well, like I said, anti-spoofing. So we verify that the data, we use technology that's been around for decades at this point to figure out whether you're spoofing or not. It's no different than what I suppose the military would do to figure out if positions are being spoofed. So
Got it. And
it's a little different than the usual encrypt and then send the data and then we know where it's coming from.
got it. And do you need a certain mass of stations in order to do that, or could one station that's kind of what in helium would be called a lone wolf out in the middle of nowhere, can they kind of get away with spoofing until they have a
They
bunch of stations around them?
they should not be able to get away with spoofing. No, there should not be a way to do that. And if they are, um, then I guess all the power to them because we're learning something new. We're
Right.
pushing the frontiers of science forward, and it's always a cat and mouse game with security. So
Yeah. Totally. Now you've got a PhD and a couple masters, a pretty sharp cat coming from the aerospace side. What was it
thank you.
about Onocoy that you were like, oh, I have to be a part of this?
It's basically I it's kind of a long story, but to put it quickly, I've been into crypto for a while. But I never really was able to do any research in it. I was a researcher in my previous life, and I
Yep.
wasn't able to really get into it until I heard about helium, and I realized, oh wow, this is how you connect blockchain to hardware. And one of the first things I started working on was I thought, okay, well, look, uh, we've got these GNSS constellations up in the sky from various nations, but why do we need to do it that way? They're obviously putting them up. Soviet Union puts up GLONASS because the United States has GPS. Now you've got China with Beidou, you've got Europe with Galileo. Why are different nation states doing all of this? Well, they're doing it because they don't trust each other, and blockchain solves that whole trust problem. So it was immediately clear to me that this could be done. So I started working in that direction. What I knew it would be a sort of very hard to do, and then I heard about Onocoy, and I said, this makes so much more sense because you're doing it on the ground. And on the ground, there's a whole commercial market for this, and it's not controlled by any, national level actor. So there's a business need for this, and so we can start on the ground, and maybe eventually, hopefully, move to space. It wouldn't
be singing some satellites up there.
That would be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Now, you just came out with this Berman equilibrium paper. Do you want to walk me through that in the kind of last couple minutes of the show and just give like a broad strokes overview of what that is and how that might be different or really drive the project forward?
Yeah, so Mint has been around for years now, long time, popularized by helium, of course, and then helium went to a very useful direction with this whole deflationary Mint is what I think it should be called, basically the halving schedule. And what I did was I analyzed Mint, and I found that if the original Mint model that Factum pioneered is actually not stable, your economy will collapse. The reason for that is that initially, sure, when there is a rise in the amount of tokens, and the growth of the network might be able to support your economy. Eventually, at equilibrium, what ends up happening, you only want to hold so many tokens as needed to be burned. So you'll just basically switch it, so dump those tokens on the market, and you'll just be incentivized to do it because it'll be like a run on the bank. It'll just be let's just dump all these tokens on the market because next round another amount is going to be minted. And so once that's minted, dump them again. Okay, again, let's keep doing this. And you play this game. If you play this game, what you find is that it's best to just dump. Deflationary burn and mint avoids that because every round there's fewer and fewer tokens, and that way you can't. As long as you can't dump faster than the deflation, you're good. So I worked out the math there. I also ended up figuring out that just like for burn and mint, the way it works is you have this price oracle, and you price everything in fiat, and you say and use the price oracle to figure out how much the direct credit that you're selling your data for should be priced in tokens. That oracle should also, and I'm quite confident in this now, that oracle should also be used on the mint side, and you should also what we do at Onocoy is we target a fixed fiat payment per miner but we pay you out in tokens based on the price oracle. So currently our price oracle is also fiat. It's determined by rewards commission, but eventually when we go live with the token, when there's a market price, we'll be using the market feed to give you the price. Just like this is already being done on other projects to determine the burn.
Love it. Uroš, every time I get to talk to you, I'm always psyched to hear what you have to say. It's just super fun talking to a sharp cat who's kind of putting their mind against it. I read through that paper. I got to be honest, a lot of the equations are beyond my fifth grade math level, but okay. It looks pretty fancy. And like I said, it's always really good to chat with you. Thanks so much for coming on, and super excited to have you come back and tell us more when Onocoy is at the next step.
For sure. Thank you so much.